Hey everybody, Justin here from Spartan Tree Solutions. I just wanted to talk to you guys real quick about span rigging operations and the benefits of span rigging in tree care operations. Span rigging is basically sets of ropes and rigging hardware set up in the tree to form a span. So basically you would have your rope here, your rigging line anchored in the tree on some sort of pulley or something like that, and then you would anchor your tail end off to another section of the tree like this, essentially forming a span or a bridge. And this is where you would lower the material down on. And so in a scenario where you have a fence or a house over here, and this is your only rigging point, you wouldn't want to rig this branch off here, because if you cut this here, this limb is going to go swinging right over to where you don't want it. So when you have a limited tight space, a limited drop zone, span rigging is awesome. There's tons of benefits. And like I said, you just set up your little pulley here, you anchor it up top using a bowline or a halter hitch, whatever you choose to use. So now this is your span, and you would just pull this center down. You hook up your carabiner and your strap just like that, and this would be your rigging line. And so now, instead of all this big swing, when you cut this piece, you can lower it straight down into this area here, nice and controlled. And so stick around for some footage. I'm going to show you some really cool stuff and the benefits of some span rigging.
Okay, so again, span rigging is a technique used in tree care operations to safely remove and lower branches or sections of a tree. It involves creating a span between two anchor points within the tree, typically using arborist slings and ropes. This method offers several benefits, including reducing the forces applied during rigging, lowering risks of the tree failure, and increased speed and efficiency. So first we'll talk about the reduced impact and forces applied. Span rigging disperses the load over a broader area, minimizing the stress on individual branches or the tree itself. This greatly reduces the risk of possible tree failure, as well as improving safety. So here you'll see I'm removing a large dead ash tree that's been compromised by emerald ash borer, and I chose span rigging because I didn't feel comfortable just rigging off to one stem for fear that a top might break out. So I chose span rigging to disperse those loads evenly. The second benefit to span rigging is increased speed and efficiency. Using slings and carabiners rather than knot tying can be a quick way to rig out multiple limbs at a time. Arborists can quickly set up rigging points and sling a few limbs and save time, making the operation more productive. Here's an example of rigging multiple limbs down at a time on a span. I like this because instead of tying off one limb at a time, cutting it and lowering it down, you can sling off multiple limbs and rig them down, making the operation faster. Oftentimes I will already set up my slings while the groundsman is lowering the branch. That way when it comes back to me, all I have to do is snap it off and I'm ready to go. While on the subject of knot tying, span rigging typically requires fewer knots compared to other rigging methods, simplifying the rigging setup. This contributes to operational efficiency and safety, as there are fewer points of potential failure. If you're someone that struggles with knot tying, span rigging is a great option for you. Perhaps one of my favorite things about span rigging is that it's particularly advantageous when there's limited space to work with, as it enables arborists to pinpoint a precise drop zone for materials being lowered from trees. In confined areas such as urban environments, or when working near structures, houses, fences, or even landscape, span rigging offers the ability to create a controlled pathway for branches or logs to descend safely. By setting up a span between strategically chosen anchor points, arborists can guide the rigging line along a predetermined path. This not only ensures that materials are directed away from these obstacles, but it also allows for a more precise placement of the drop zone. Arborists can position the materials exactly where they want them, reducing the risk of damage and overall safety improvement. In tight spaces, the ability to control the drop zone through span rigging is invaluable, as it minimizes the chances of accidents and property damage while maintaining efficient tree care operations. You'll see in this video we're removing a large hackberry from in between two houses in downtown Nashville. This was maybe one of the tightest drop zones in the biggest trees I've ever removed, with just such very, very little room for error. And so span rigging really was a tremendous help and a good tool to have in the tool bag. I believe we probably span rigged almost every piece off of this tree. Doing any other rigging method, in my opinion, would have given way too much swing and momentum, and it would have hit one of the houses. At the narrowest point, I could basically reach out and touch either house with my hand. And so this worked great. We had, very little room on the ground. There was landscape, there were fences, the two houses, the gutters, and so very technical removal. And the span rigging allowed us to pinpoint where we wanted to put all this material. Overall, span rigging is a valuable technique in tree care operations that enhances safety, reduces impact, and improves efficiency. It allows arborists to work more efficiently and accurately while also making their jobs easier. And remember, anytime you are doing tree care, be sure to have your helmet and proper PPE. Thanks for watching, guys. This is Justin from Spartan Tree Solutions, and until next time, see you guys.